It looks like it's thinking about trying.
Yeah, it's not there yet. Twitch always is faster at that than YouTube.
Oh, it's struggling to send data bits.
Uh-oh.
We got 360p. Is it picking back up? Is it smoothing back out? What the heck?
Uh-oh. Nice, Artheron.
Hey, Artheron. Yep. We're just, it's having a moment. Relayotron
Waiting for the tubes.
is being weird. And I'm also upset with Twitch because it didn't save my, There we go, is it?
There it is. I see it now. There we are. Let me pop out that live.
Okay, it's coming down. All right, that was a rocky start. Let's see. Do we have a... Okay, 360, 720. Yeah, let's pop out all the chats. Hey, everybody, we're going to do a show here in a moment. I just noticed right before we went live, we're like, hey, I got a SSH into the restream box. And I'm like, uh-oh, SSH is being slow. That's never a good sign.
Yeah, because that's usually fast.
Right? I was like, this isn't good, and this isn't good at all. But it looks like it's smoothing out a little bit. Hopefully
It's
it is.
taking its good time.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, they changed the little icons. All right. In Discord, there we go. There we go. All right. Hopefully I caught the Twitch thing in time. Let me see. Let's give that a retoot. What else are we doing? Here we go. Yeah, that's holding good now. All right. Let me see. We're live. Open. Doing that Linux show thing. Live. Now there needs, I don't know if that'd be an interesting plugin.
Hi, Michael Salmons.
Hi, Turbo.
YouTube.
I'm assuming that's Turbo. That looks an awful lot like Turbo.
Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, okay.
If not, I know somebody. I know where your doppelganger lives. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, that is Turbo, I think.
We're working on it. HTV. TV. I need a / in there. It's not going to work.
He says, shh.
I was like, how dare you give up my screen name? We have like reverse doxing. All right. There we go. I'm going to post that here. Okay, we were talking about this in the pre-show, like being so many social media sites these days, all right?
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Oh, did I? I forgot to do the Mastodon.
I put an extra dot in twitch.tv, so I mean, can I edit this? Delete, confirm. Let's try this again. All right. I'm telling you, man, you take a week off and it just gets crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, there we go. All right, I think everything's together. Mm-hmm. What do we got tonight? What do we got this afternoon, this evening? We got Wayland is going to be...
Yay!
a super big real thing. We got a date on it. Red Hat's like, this is the date. A way to yoink everything from Internet Archive, set it and forget it. And that's pretty good. PipeWire at 1.0 and making NeoFetch NeoFast.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Oh, Steve Husband, I like this. My pet mastodon has no nose. The world's oldest joke. Oh my. It is the correct mastodon, but one's virtual and one's real life.
I always want to spell mastodon wrong. How do my brain always wants to spell it?
I always do that. I usually put a STEDON. I forget you just got to remember there's two O's.
I always try to spell it like MASTA, like mastodon, okay. But it's mastodon.
Yeah.
Even though we all say mastodon or masto. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Let's replace that with the number 12.
Oh, welcome back, Whiskey. Thank you for joining us live again. And Joe Pinocchio, thank you for joining us. Good to see you. Been a while.
All right. We've got about 8 minutes before we're going to go live.
Okay.
We got pretty much everything set up. I think what was it?
Goody.
Some of our latest news is that broke, I think, last night. Twitch is shutting down in Korea.
Oh, yeah. I was reading about that. Oh, my gosh.
Like, they're just pulling out. It costs too much, you know? They're charging something like 10 times the rate. And Korea, they didn't single out Twitch. Korea does it, Netflix as well. They hit the same wall. And I think YouTube, but YouTube just pays it. I feel bad for anybody, like, that was their full-time job, was streaming in Korea. Like, that's gone.
Yeah, that's horrible. Absolutely. I know I've watched some Korean streamers, so that's, yeah. Yeah.
That's a rough thing to find out one day. You wake up and you're like, what? I have to move to a different country? Why?
I have to go to YouTube, I guess.
That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
You'll see, not many people have made that transition. That's probably one of my most interesting use cases for Twitch is finding YouTubers that I didn't even know were still around. And I'm like, all right, hey, what are you doing?
They're here now.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them make the transition to live streaming very well. Some of them don't. And some YouTubers, some people are very good at produced video, you know, like, hey, let me read out a script and do that. And they're not really good with live. I'm the exact opposite. I'm much better live than I am when I have to sit down and read a script because I keep rewriting stuff. But it's good to see people do stuff live. And I just feel bad for anybody in Korea that was like, hey, man, that was my livelihood. And you don't need that uncertainty. You got like 2 months to figure it out. Like,
Yeah, Mark, our Twitch bridge is down right now. I guess I got to ping Jordan or empty.
Is the Twitch Discord bridge down?
Yeah.
I don't see anybody typing in Twitch.
Yeah, I guess I don't either now. Okay. Let's see.
I have all the chats open right now.
Okay. So someone else said it wasn't working earlier. Oh, Amir did. Yeah, Amir.
Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, if you want your chat to show up, you got to be in the Twitch chat.
Yeah. Hello and welcome, Carlos Chan. Cool. I will be right back for my quick break.
You got plenty of time. You got 5 minutes, 12 seconds, 5 minutes, 11 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 seconds, 5 minutes, 9 seconds, 5 minutes, 8 seconds. Yeah, I guess that boils down to like, hey, we can do the Blizzard announcement. Like, you have a phone, do you? You have a Twitch account, don't you? Whatever. We'll just reset the bridge at some point. NetJack Outdoor video. How much things have changed? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. I use a Reaper now. I don't use Outdoor. Reaper's just, for my particular use case, turned out to be better for live than Outdoor. NetJack 2 is still NetJack 2. We've got more PCs set up. Probably good, like watching the, what is it? What is NetJack 2 video? That's a more recent one. Kind of shows what everything's going on. Still works. It's a beautiful thing about it. Move the bridge to Kubernetes. Bad. No. I don't know. Like, here's like one of the things like Twitch did when they're like, hey guys, you can do restreaming, which we're doing now. Was the one thing I think there's like two things you can do. And like, you can't provide your, like, where the other places that you're streaming, like links and stuff like that. That's fine, whatever. But you can't combine your chats. And I'm kind of waiting on that phone call from Twitch and to see if they try to take issue, because we've had our chat bridge developed by Strider and Empty in our chat that tie together our Twitch chat, our Discord live channel. We have a Discord, like, super secret private channel for patrons and Twitch subscribers, ironically enough, and IRC. And that poor bot occasionally, I mean, it works good. It doesn't have like a half work. Well, it does have a half work mode, because we've seen all the different failure states of that poor bot. It'll sometimes work and sometimes it'll only relay like in one direction. But I'm curious if Twitch is going to come calling like, hey, you can't use that either. I'm just kind of waiting on that. I hope they don't, because I will have my defense of, like, I don't believe IRC is considered a streaming platform. They little tougher time defending that with Discord, but I still don't view Discord as a streaming platform. Hang on. Maybe so. All right, let's get a couple of checks in. There we go. And thanks everybody who showed up last week when we did the Linux on the Apple M3, aka the first gen Apple TV. That was fun. That was interesting. That is something that should never be attempted again live on air. But if you want to make a retro streaming box, you can take the first gen Apple TV and put XBMC on it effectively. And I mean, it worked for what it was. Do a Docker bridge. Podman, man. We gotta containerize everything needlessly. Needlessly. You know what? Next, they're going to start putting desktop applications in containers. If we continue with this madness. Also, I hope nobody is having to manage VMware right now, because good luck getting renewals during the Broadcom apocalypse that's going on right now. I feel for you. You know, now that I've started playing with Nginx, and I can't even say I'm playing with it anymore, I've kind of use it in a couple of things. I have the XKCD graphed with quality of life improvements since the last time I've had to touch Apache. But there's so much Apache still out there. I get it. Yeah, if you get your VMware renewals in, like last month before, but if you're stuck, like, coming up on December 1st of the year, good luck getting a hold of anybody. Hi, Joe.
Hello.
All right. Let me go make a cup of tea, people, and we'll get underway.
Okay.
We'll do a show. All right. More Apache than Nginx? Yeah. I use Nginx. Coming from Apache, when I deal with Nginx, my brain goes, I can't believe it's this easy.
I know. Huh?
The entire time I'm doing a setup, I'm like, that's what you got to do? That's what I say constantly when I'm working with Nginx, and I have to look up something, as one does. It's just a constant stream of like, really? That's it? And I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. All right, I'll be right back, everybody, and we'll get underway.
Okay, sounds good. Yay, Arthur! And I just brought up Twitch chat because the bridge is down, huh? Oh, hi Romeo, Sid Vicious. Good to see you in live. Awesome, big hugs. Nginx is a miracle. It really is. It makes it a lot easier to teach a LAMP or a LIMP stack as well to beginners having Nginx. Although I had done both at Linux Chicks LA meetings, and it was so nice when we had LIMP. Yeah, Romeo, virtual hugs. Yay! Yeah, I think with Nginx, gosh, I first saw a presentation at Scale the year it was introduced, and everyone was just blown away. There were a lot of oohs and ahs in the audience. Oh, that's gonna make our life so much easier. LIMP instead of LAMP. But it's so funny because I still use I still have all my Apache commands memorized from years ago. Oh yeah, Boo Love. So of course I got this big penguin mug back. I love this. It's so huge. It lasts me probably a month. Yeah, so this is, I think, the third week I've used this. I was gonna say little guy. No, it's a big it's a big guy, big travel mug. It is so adorbs. Yeah. It's my novelty sippy cup from Temu. And it was only like $6.50. What a steal. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Yeah, I guess I gotta drink the minds of penguins. It helps me do the show. Oh, Arthur and big penguin for a small woman. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, Steve Husband, you got to read the video stream to see all the chat and Twitch. Yeah, we have some fun stuff this episode to talk about. I'm looking forward to. It's been a good week for Linux. But Wet Week isn't good. They're all awesome. Just using Linux is the best time of the time of each week. Oh boy. So Arthur and Romeo and Joe and Mark Potter, what gadget are you looking forward to for Christmas? God, We all have so much on our wish list. Oh, yeah, Strider, you've been working on that. Lutris Console 3. That's exciting. I saw pictures of it in chat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's fun watching developers at scale encounter a fangirl. Yeah. Yes, Matthew, that's awesome. I know, especially right now with memory being so cheap, grab as much as you can. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's been nice in the last few months being able to get, 16 and 32 gigs of RAM for under $100. It's so nice.
What you guys talking about?
Oh, Matthew just put 64 gigs of RAM in his Lutris console.
What's his use case?
For playing games.
You don't need 64 gigs of RAM for
creation.
Nope, you don't need it. Take it out. Throw it away.
Hey, thrash that metal.
You need 6. I don't know. I was thinking about that last night. Like, what's a...
Yeah, so true, Joe. That would be... push subscription. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
What we need is that curiosity. It's not even Linux. It is the type of person who has the desire to install an operating system, period, is an incredibly rare type of person. We don't realize it. You're in a bubble. I'm in a bubble with you. But just more of that thinking, even if it gets them to just reinstall Windows, that's a start, man. Like, most people don't even mess with that. And to move on to Linux and to BSDs, and that's where it gets fascinating. That's that little kernel of, like, how does this work? I want to make this work, or I want to make it do something better or different.
Yeah.
Love to see it. Makes me happy. Really, the RAM disk. Remember RAM disk? Like, we all thought we were going to be using,
that was a thing. I used to render in RAM disks. Oh my god. Yeah.
RAM disk, and I think in like the mid-aughts, there were a couple of companies that tried to manufacture DRAM drives. Remember those? Battery backup drives? And we're like, oh, this is good. Then SSDs came out and they got reasonable price. We just forgot about it. Whatever.
Yeah, we forgot about it.
This is good enough. This is good enough. Whatever. Yeah, getting people switched over to Linux is great, long as you take full responsibility for them for life. Because nothing does more damage than dropping Linux on somebody's box and abandoning.
Oh, my Steve husband. That will never happen. Oh. Nope, you don't have to install Linux. I just... As long as his... laptop or phone or whatever he's using, he has access to Firefox or Google Chrome.
You see, Joe,
happy.
Me and Steve get along, and that's why me and Steve, because if I'm not in this room, all I do is carry around a tablet with me.
Yeah.
That's my life. That's a tablet does all the computing that I need. I feel you, Steve. That's all you need when you're out and about.
So he doesn't care what distro he's using or which desktop. Just as long as he can find. I just put the Firefox and the Google Chrome icons on the desktop, and he's fine. And he likes his Chromebook too. I've put Linux apps in there too. Like
I want a Chrome tablet, man. Nobody.
I know.
Acer made that Chrome tablet that was underpowered. It was a decent enough Chrome tablet, but they put too nice of a screen on it, really, at the end of the day, and it just didn't have the horsepower to drive that resolution. And then the industry just kind of forgot about
tablets.
Yeah. Oh man, Samsung has a 14-inch tablet that I almost pulled the trigger on. I talked myself out of it. I talked myself out of it because there was a refurb for like $7.99.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a 14.5-inch tablet, and I'm like, I want to see what I want it to feel like I'm using a tablet, because a 10-inch tablet to me doesn't feel like a tablet. It feels like a mobile device. I can palm it. And I wanted that, and I talked myself out of it. The thing in the back of your head is like, do you really need that? I'm like, no, but I want it.
Yeah. Oh, hello and welcome also to Pink. Yeah. Pink says, I hate Windows. I can't customize it. Fully agree. Oh, good, Joe. Your wife's on Linux now. 4 years?
You can customize. You just need to go to windowscustomizer.cx.ru.
Windows blinds. Remember that was a thing to make your desktop look like KDE or GNOME?
These days, I think you can... I don't know. Here's something that was kind of strange. Microsoft announced yesterday that for the first time, they're going to offer consumer extended security support for Windows 10. Now, this is something that you could always get if you were using, this is why you see like ATMs and point of sale systems still running Windows XP embedded, but
yes,
they have support contracts, they're paying that money to Redmond to keep them secure as that they're ever going to be. But Microsoft came out yesterday and said, hey, we're going to offer extended support for Windows 10 if you pay for it, security. And that's going to be a dumpster fire because people aren't going to pay for it. Instead, they're going to go to the Pirate Bay and download Windows Security Patch X whatever, and it's going to be a nightmare. It's going to be a nightmare. But just like every version of Windows, Windows 11 is out and people are violently against it. Just like, remember Windows 7?
Yeah.
I'm never letting go of Windows 7. Everyone forgets Windows 8 existed. I like that culturally. Like, Windows 8? No, that didn't happen.
Or Windows crazy. Millennium, we called it Windows Aluminum.
Windows ME.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Never... my only memory of Windows ME was somebody brought me a Windows ME machine that the mouse would lock up and it would cause the PC speaker to start screeching. And I just gave it back to him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate myself enough right now to deal with this. Here, you go take that to somebody. Miss V, Windows blinds was I never, I missed out on a lot of that. It's okay. All right, cool. So, let's check our shots. Looking good there. Okay. Got a browser shut. Okay. I think everything is tied in. We are recording. Get drinks.
That's good, Joe. Windows messed up edition. The only positive for Windows ME is that it did boot faster than any other Windows. That was the only thing, but that's because it didn't work right, so it probably didn't load all the drivers right. I think I had one machine that Windows Aluminum ran well on. Only one.
What are the things about, I'm curious about with Windows, like modern Windows, because, you bring up booting fast, right? When you bring up booting fast, how fast Windows boots has traditionally, this is what I want to know if you're in chat right now listening, has this metric changed? Like getting the desktop meant nothing because you can get to your desktop. The system wasn't ready to use until 2 or 3 minutes later, once it finished booting. Has that behavior changed with like Windows 7, Windows 10, Windows 11? Like when you're at your desktop, are you ready to go? Or is it like, oh, I'm at the desktop, let me go do something and come back, then the system will be ready to go?
It is, it has gotten better, although I still hear a lot of the Windows YouTubers talk about reinstalling it every year to increase speed because of all the junk it accumulates. It's still a thing.
Well, you're dealing with an operating system that's so primitive that it still uses a registry to track things.
Yeah.
Yeah, laptops are there, and that is the data point I'm familiar with. All right, beautiful people. Let's do a show. All right, I need to set my automation track. Give me a second. Let's put that in write mode. Hey, there we go. Oh, let's get rid of the previous automation track. That would have made for an interesting. I would have been randomly muted throughout the episode.
Uh-oh. Right. I don't want to be muted.
Well, it would have been fun because in the DAW we can write automations for mute, and I do that for both of us. So
okay.
Anytime I press the mute button, the DAW keeps track of like, hey, you pressed the mute button here. So if I have to go back and edit the show, I don't have to go back and manually remute everything, because with the digital audio workstation, it's non-destructive. It just records your audio. It doesn't touch it, doesn't do anything to it. So I have to go back and tell it mute here, mute here, mute here. That's what automation does. So it's real handy. But if I have that automation lane left from a previous show, I would just be talking and it would think, oh, yes, last week you muted here. And I would just disappear randomly. It would be entertaining, but it wouldn't make for a fun show.
Yeah. Oh, Arthur, I actually have pieces from a Barbie computer and a Hot Wheels computer. I actually have the shell of a Barbie computer, but the motherboard was dead on it. So I put a new mini ITX motherboard in the computer. But it still looks nice on the outside. I'd gotten it overstock from someone years ago, like when they were new.
I remember seeing those.
Yeah.
I got to figure out where to put these chats. Too many chats. They're just going to stay here for this. I got the DAW over here. I've plugged in, you know, that portable monitor I bought?
Yeah.
That old 1080p one.
I've got it. The little hole for standing.
Yeah, the hole that I liked. Like, hey, what's the hole for?
The pencil in it.
Right. And I got the Reaper on Threadripper. On Threadbooper running that, but I think maybe I put the chats over here. I'm down a monitor. The reason I'm down a monitor is because my third monitor is in portrait mode for show notes. If that was in landscape, it'd be different, but it's not, because that is a single purpose monitor.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's go. Trying to do my non-ironic let's go. It makes me smile when I'm watching a streamer, and like they're just completely dispirited. they're just doing it because that's the thing you say when you're live streaming and you do something. You're like, let's go. I'm like, oh, you sound so sad.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have heard a few YouTubers say that, and it does sound depressing sometimes.
I'm just saying it to say it. It's like, oh, no. Oh, look, it's 11:15. Time to say, let's go.
No, instead you need to go. You need to go like and subscribe, do all the things, ring that bell.
Smash bells, other things that YouTubers say, and, you know, whatever.
And peace out.
You've already closed the video by now. I can say anything I want. Okay.
That's Everybody, good. Move your body. So There's true. Strider, Matthew.
All right. Locked and locked. Let's bounce over to that. Cool, everybody. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Got all this. I need to pin those. Okay, we're going to start with that. Cool. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Linux Weekly. Daily Wednesdays. We sit back, relax, take that break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of open source and Linux and just whatever. We were just talking about the history of Windows taking forever to boot. Not necessarily get the desktop, but to boot. You know, the part that takes, you know, it's like second breakfast for Windows. And when you get to your desktop, then you get up and go do something and you come back and maybe it's ready. Laptops are, Arthurian was pointing out in chat. Go back and listen to that. It's part of our pre-show if you're a patron. But hey, everyone, I'm Vin. Jill's back. And you might have caught me last week when I was taking apart the original Apple TV.
Yes, you were.
The first one, the single core, had embedded NVIDIA graphics on it. I was like, that's kind of fun. A couple of people joined in chat, and we managed to get Linux on it. We got the approved Linux XBMC up and running on it. Then we tried to get like regular Debian up and running. I didn't have a fighting chance because the distribution that we found that was surprisingly booted kind of to a BusyBox interface didn't have a network stack built into it. So like getting that up and running during a live stream was outside of the scope. Then we went back to the XBMC because we realized that we could get to a TTY, but then it wasn't playing nice. But we had a fun time. It was a good way to learn. But you know one thing I've been playing with for the past 2 weeks, Joe?
What then?
We talked about it on the show. Firefox beta, because they released the Debian apt repo, right?
Yes.
I'm like, let's try this out a couple of weeks ago. And before anybody starts, I was running Firefox on Linux before you knew what Linux was. So I don't want to hear it.
Yes.
I went from Netscape Navigator 4 on Linux to start playing around with this new Firefox things. It was new back in the day.
Back when it was called Firebird and Phoenix.
What was the name of the... I forget, like SEMA or whatever the engine was like the first time I tangoed with it. I'm like, hey, this new thing that these crazy people are working on. And it was a good time. But it's been a while since I revisited Firefox outside of Firefox ESR, which ships on Debian. And I've been playing with the new version. It took a while because I had to move all of my Chrome stuff over passwords, logins, and that takes a while. And to give something a fair shake, you know what? It's not bad at all. Didn't run into any big gotchas. Really, the only thing that kind of caught me off guard is there's no dark mode built into Firefox. Now, feel free to correct me if I'm right, if I completely missed it. The internet told me it didn't exist. One thing you can do in Chromium-based browsers is go to the About config and flip everything to just dark. Yeah. And I need that in order to be able to read iThings. But I did find a good plugin that worked.
An extension.
Served that purpose. Script block, all the basic stuff that I normally use. No problems there. Everything rendered fine. And if you want to test drive the latest and greatest and you're on Debian, like I am, be it Debian stable or Debian testing, you'll give that repo a chance and just go play with it. It installs right alongside your regular Firefox. It just gives you a Firefox beta. Good time.
That's so awesome, Ven. I haven't tried it yet on Debian because I'm even recently I upgraded Firefox on Debian and I still went and downloaded the tar.gc.
That's normally what I do.
Yeah.
You just go do like whatever and you download.
I forgot. Yeah.
Which unfortunately leads to running like an outdated version, right? Like when is the next time you would update that? When something wasn't working, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's good that that's there. And if you've been thinking about playing around with the one thing I will bring up, you will have to do a manual. Me and Pedro were talking about this last week. There used to be an option to import your the CSV that you can export from Chromium browsers with all of your passwords directly into Firefox.
Oh, yeah.
That option is no longer exposed by default. You have to go into the equivalent of About config in Firefox and flip a value from true to false, which makes me wonder, like, why was that removed in the first place? I don't know what's going on there. But that's enough about what I got going on. Jill, you got a, what was that thing? Is it a doll?
No, it's a crocheted, very, very special crocheted penguin. It's so cute. Yeah, so I just got this amazing gift that I'm honestly going to treasure forever from my Linux family for my penguin collection for Destination Linux and LWDW. It is from my dear friends, Strykor, or Matthew Commandon, creator of Lutris, in chat, and Monica Aans Madden. They, both gifted me this amazing penguin that had an adventure at the Ubuntu Summit in Riga, Latvia on November 3rd through 5th.
Look over there on the right. That's that nerd from Lutris, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Hi, Strider. I see you in chat.
And on the left-hand side is my beautiful Steve husband. So, and these are the pictures of everyone who held this penguin at the Ubuntu Summit. And it was everyone from Wimpy or Martin Wimpress, Popey or Alan Pope, Gloria Eggroll, Aaron Prisk, Cubicle Nate, Michael Tennell, Till Computer, and many, many more. There are like probably at least 50 pictures of people holding my penguin. And it's so special because I couldn't attend. For those of you out there who don't know, I've actually been ill. But I am doing much better now. And I couldn't attend the convention. And that was their gift to me because my dear friends Matthew and Monica wanted me to come and I couldn't, and so they brought a plushy penguin in spirit of me not being there. So it's very special. It's gonna live over here in my penguin collection to the right of me, front and center. In fact, I've got a spot I'm gonna put it in, and again, just thank you so much, Matthew, who delivered this special penguin to me last Saturday. We had a wonderful dinner at a French bakery and cafe, and it was just so much fun. And we were also celebrating Matthew's birthday, which was yesterday. So there's a lot going on in Linux Gamecast chat and world and LWDW world.
Your old Strider.
Yes. There he is. He's in chat right now. Someone posted a big picture of him. Let's see. Oh, he did.
Now, I want you to remember, Jill. I want you to remember you need to immediately launder that because it's been around a bunch of Linux nerds.
Yes. It is very clean, though. They know how OCD I am about cleanliness. So it came in beautiful, very clean, beautiful shape. Thank you again, Matthew. This little penguin has traveled the world, and it's very special and dear to my heart. Love this penguin. Yay!
You ready to get into it, Joe?
Yes, I am.
All right. Because I want to start out with something we talked about on Linux Gamecast, but I wanted to give it a mention for everybody here. Because weird camps are being formed. I see it on Reddit. I see it on Hacker News, and I see it on Lemmy. We want to form teams so badly, right? And
yeah.
There's this weird divide between Team Wayland and Team X11. I'm like, really? We're doing this? Or are we struggling so hard that we need this as a difference? But why I'm bringing this up is Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10. They're going to just make this a very, very simple equation for you. They're going to be getting rid of Wayland. And we've talked about this, but they didn't necessarily have a date for it. Now we have a date. Red Hat is going to absolutely be going full Wayland in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, X is just not going to be included with Red Hat 10. And there's no need to panic, though. There's no need to pick CAMs because the X11 protocol is going to continue to be supported with X Wayland.
Yeah,
there's going to be a mountain of applications that will never be ported to Wayland, and that's going to take care of you. And don't confuse X11 with the protocol, Mm-hmm. So if you absolutely need X, you're going to be able to stick with RHEL 9, which doesn't reach end of life until, a little bit of a drum roll, 2035.
That's more than enough time.
What I want to communicate is 2035. You're the Wayland desktop.
Yes.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've been, so impressed with Wayland, especially within this last year. Yeah, and in fact, right now I'm running Window Maker on Wayland right now in Ubuntu 23.10. And it's working just fine. It uses the X Wayland protocol, no problem. And that was my biggest worry. What about my favorite desktop managers? But they play very nicely with X Wayland, so it's not a problem.
I was reading, there's a link in last week's, this will be the last time I'm bringing up our Linux gaming show, but Linux Gamecast Weekly. There's a link in the show notes from last week's episode of I ran across the developer responsible for getting XFCE. He's kind of the lead on getting XFCE moved over to Wayland.
Yeah.
He's not a happy human being right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's bringing up some very valid points. And it's growing pains. But Red Hat's got to do this. Other distributions are going to follow suit. You don't have to worry about Fedora. Fedora's and, still like, hey, we're going to include both. I understand why Red Hat wants to do this, but the more adoption that you see, the more problems that are going to be uncovered, and then they're going to get fixed. This is the life cycle. This is how this works,
Absolutely.
Which is good. So don't panic, and, don't pick camps. We talked about it. We were doing Trackmania a couple of weeks ago, and we remember we were like, hey, who's running Wayland? Who's running Linux?
Yeah.
What did people say? I'm like, I don't know. And
they didn't know.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and especially, Red Hat understands that, they don't want to put their developers, their attention on, X11 because they don't want to be split anymore. Mm-hmm. And that way their full attention can go on Wayland and in fixing the issues. So it really makes sense that they're doing this.
Yeah, this is the right way to go about it. And, I still have my reservations. There's things that need to be addressed in Wayland. Wayland has huge adoption already in the embedded space.
Yeah.
And it makes a ton of sense. Now, I understand both sides here. Now, if you come to me, especially with, the security first approach, which again makes really a lot of sense in the embedded space. And I see people having to fight around that to, we've seen that with, thing we're going to be talking about PipeWire in a moment. Now, things that have to be done with Flatpak in order to get them to function like you would expect on a desktop, where you don't necessarily expect that level of like desktop security, like that type of lockdown and some of the problems that they've run into. But it'll work itself out. Or who knows? Maybe we'll get X12. Maybe player 3 we don't even know about will show up out of nowhere, because there's something to be said. Like, but then Wayland's been around for 15 years, and I'm like, yes, it has, but 15's not 30.
But Xorg has been around for a lot longer.
It is the most, and then we got to think about this.
Yeah.
How small is the Linux desktop market to begin with? Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. There's not enough of us out here to be fighting about this. So just rock and roll with it. And worst case scenario, we can blame NVIDIA, but NVIDIA's this is a good signal to NVIDIA. Like, hey, just go ahead and get all this done.
You got to fix it. Yeah.
Which they've been making steps. You got to like when company does good, say, hey, good. Get in the habit of doing that instead of like not good enough. If that is your constant response to everything. Cool.
Yay.
Internet Archive.
Yeah. So would you like an easy way to download multiple files from the Internet Archive, especially ones that where there's 100 files on one web page? Well, our good friend Martin Wimpress, or Wimpy, who I talked about earlier, who held my penguin at the Ubuntu Summit, he has developed a command line app for just that. It is called IA Get, or Internet Archive Get, and all you have to do is type IA Get in the terminal with the URL of an Internet Archive details page you want to download. And all the files from that page will be downloaded to your current working directory.
Oh, look at this shameless self-promotion, Wimpress.
Yes.
Tisk.
Yes. Oh, he's on the awesome podcast, Linux Matters. So, of course, he's going to promote that. But yeah, IA Get will preserve the original directory structure and automatically resume failed or partial downloads. And it's got lots of awesome features. And I just want to say, way to go, Wimpy. This has been a need for a long time. Me and Ven, in fact, were talking about how long it takes to download files from the Internet Archive. So having a utility that just does this in batch on the website you want to download files from is wonderful.
That's the right way to do it. It absolutely is. It turns out Wimpress wanted to just hoard some high quality scans from Zap64's and magazine from way back in the day. Reasons like whatever, that's cool. And manually doing that is going to be tedious, and it's not going to be fast. You want something that you can set and forget. Yeah. And that's what this does. I mean, this is the unholy union of Chat GPT-4 and Rust.
Yes.
That's awesome. And this is what it ended up. It's all documented. There'll be a link in the show notes to the GitHub project.
Mhm.
But to that, you might not know that, I've been doing, guides, online content for 13 years now. And I do my best to get what I can backed up, especially our podcast. And we have an archive page, which I use it for things like podcasts, and I put dry mixing stems for, people who want to learn how to mix audio, because nobody does that. And I want that resource to be there. The reason I don't do archive our videos, or here's what we were talking about in the pre-show, is you'll notice like our podcast, or like episode 100 through 300, and like 300 through, I couldn't do everything in one block because a lot of times that upload would fail. Yeah. And it would fail after like 7 or 8 hours of upload. So I've broken it down like that. And downloading stuff can be excruciatingly slow. Anybody knows if you've downloaded video from the Internet Archive, where, sometimes it'll trick you a little bit. You'll start downloading like, ooh, that's coming by real quick. And it'll drop down to like sub dial-up speeds from back in the day. I'm like, no, I thought I was going to get to watch that today. However, this is something you can put in the background, set and forget, and just let it sip it down. So it's good. And then somebody's using ChatGPT for good, not evil. And of course it's in Rust, because we have to do everything in Rust these days. Pretty fascinating.
Yeah,
now this
is pretty cool.
Yeah. This next thing comes from 9to5 Linux, and I'm just grinning. If I was capable of smiling, it didn't cause me physical pain, I would be. PipeWire 1.0 El Presidente is officially out. Man, this is great. This is wonderful. This release improves also plugin, Jack GStreamer support, numerous new features. Oh yeah, it does. It does. Getting Pipes 1.0 took a lot of work. So much has been done with this project. And this particular release, it's not super exciting. It's mostly focused around stability and performance, A couple of things in there. They got the LC3 codec for your Bluetooths. That's pretty neat. A couple of optimizations for Jack, which we're running right now in the studio. That's really neat. And there's a really good write-up interview that Feedorf magazine did with somebody I want to call Tim, and will probably always want to call Tim until the end of days. Wim Taymans.
Instead of Wim Taymans.
Yes, my brain, my Lysdexia takes care of that. It's like, no, it's Tim Waymans.
Yeah, I do that too, Ben.
This is a good read, a fantastic read about what's going on with the PipeWire project, and kind of, behind the scenes, under the hood, and all that. And they talk about, some of the finishing bits, like getting NetJack 2 up and running.
Mm-hmm.
Because we use that. Yeah. Everything in the studio is connected, audio over IP using NetJack 2, which is really cool. And FireWire support and Faded support built in, which is also really important, at least to me. Wim does mention that they're unable to test a lot of it because they don't have the hardware. I know a guy.
Yes, I was thinking that same thing when I read the interview.
Thinking about we're talking about who the 2 employees left at the Linux FireWire store, or this nut job engineer in Japan, Takashi, and the sales guy over here in Athens, who does the customer interaction. But yeah, I don't know what needs to. If you want to get in touch, I'll help out with what I can. I that's what we were talking about, in the pre-show. I don't have a bunch of spare computers laying around this house, but once I get, we're saving up pennies right now to build the Epic PC, which is going to be a replacement for Threadripper.
Yay! Yes.
Which is going to be fun. Patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. There we go. If you want to help out with that. Also, stuff's on our wish list. But one thing that's going to let me do, because, things are going to move to PipeWire.
Yes.
Like it or not, this is not another one of those weird, let's pick an audio engine camp and fight. No. I want PipeWire to succeed. I've been a huge proponent of it, but, I'm not a cheerleader. I don't tell you something's great just because it's new. But once I get an Epic system put together, or the alternate, I'll be able to do some A/B testing, which is going to be fascinating, to see how PipeWire interacts in the studio with the equipment. And that's going to be fun times, because I'm already seeing the question show up in my email. Like, how do I do this? And how do I do this? Like, I already know how to, even though I've not set up a PipeWire system to test it in production in the real world, because we're in a very unique space, being able to test stuff the way I can here. But I know how to walk somebody through setting up the FADO drivers in PipeWire, just because I've had to research that, because I've gotten that question enough times. And like, I want to put that in practice. I want to get some human readable guides, because the documentation, while it's good in PipeWire, I'm not going to say it's necessarily human readable, because I always try to approach that as like, I just installed Linux and I'm like, oh, okay, now you need to create these config files, and that blank stare. I'm like, okay, how do we walk? We need to get some documentation that's going to, like, I want to set up a Fedora box and have PipeWire running and just kind of swap it in and out. So keep waiting. We'll get there. I got faith. Yes. Couple other things in this is, and I got a bunch of FireWire interfaces. If somebody wants to get in touch with me, tell me what you need, because I think I have pretty much one from every single chipset available right now. Got one coming in the mail, people. Got a video coming out right now for patrons. It's already up. The first FireWire interface, as a matter of fact. And some weirdness in that, where it worked with the ALSA drivers and not the FADO drivers. First time I've ever encountered that. A couple of other things, though. AVB support is still kind of poo. That's fine. I don't mess around with AVB. They do have work with AES67. That's coming down the pipe. That's good to see. And this is network audio. No word on Dante. And as somebody who occasionally gets out and about and rewires commercial theaters, because I got stuck doing that. When I see a Cobra Net installation, I replace it with a Dante, because Dante is like and if you are in our Discord, one of our friends, Joe, who is a broadcast network engineer, that's what they use for television, is Dante. And that's what people are familiar with. And you can get, what is Dante? It's really easy audio over IP. Think like XLR jacks. You just plug it in and just get a network connector on the other end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty easy.
Plug and play.
Yeah. You can even buy adapters on Amazon that do that for like $150 these days. And so that's what I'm curious about. On the video side, some updates for that. Because I always talk about the audio, because that's what I'm really fascinated with. And, as I've said, you can run PipeWire as just your audio stack, which is fine. You don't necessarily have to have Wayland or anything to that effect. But on the video side, camera support's basically ironed out, pretty much baked at this point, which is good to see. And there's initial work being done for Vulkan video filters, which is also extra cool.
That's awesome.
Happy to see it.
Yeah. You know what I'm excited about, Ben? Being able to, keep my camera on in multiple WebRTC clients like Jitsi and Zencaster and Zoom.
The amount of work that went into that to fight Wayland to make that possible.
Yeah.
I'm not being facetious at all. There's some real heroes behind that.
Yeah.
Getting that working. Bunch of cool things. Just keep things interesting. Mm-hmm. Just really happy to see PipeWire 1.0. Look forward to I'm sorry. I got to do the correct internet. Where's PipeWire 2.0? When's that coming out?
Oh.
Huh?
Well, I have a feeling PipeWire 2.0 will be released quite a bit quicker than the cadence that went to 1.0, because it was still new.
We will
hopefully.
See. Now, something that happens, and we have a super secret Discord for our Twitch subs and Patreon subscribers. If you wonder where this conversation just continues on the other 6 days of the week. And something that breaks out about every 5 months, about every 6 months, is a Neo fetch off. You can't control it. Nobody has, it just shows up out of nowhere. Somebody will do a Neo fetch, and for the next 30 minutes, it's like 80 people posting their Neo fetch. Mm-hmm. And Jill's like, you know what? There's a better solution for me.
Yeah, there is. I just found something new. So many of us in the Linux community, we like to show off pretty screenshots of our system specs and what distro we are running.
That's me in a nutshell, Jill.
Yes, in the Linux terminal. Well, one way to accomplish this is to use NeoFetch in the terminal, which we love dearly. NeoFetch is actually written in Bash 3.2+, which is wonderful, but it is a bit sluggish at launching, if you haven't noticed. Well, say hello to FastFetch, which is a NeoFetch-like tool written mostly in C. And boy, it runs quickly. I mean, I typed in, FastFetch, and it was so fast that I barely saw it come up in the terminal. It was just there instantly. Whereas with NeoFetch, you kind of wait for it to find all your system stacks, and then it launches. So that it's pretty awesome. And actually, the developer Carter Lee stated on the GitHub page, I like putting NeoFetch in my .bash RC to have a system overview whenever I use the terminal, but the slow speed annoyed me, so he created this. So that's just awesome. And it is packaged for many distros, including a .deb for Debian and Ubuntu, and .rpm for Fedora, and also there's Arch, Gentoo, OpenSUSE packages, and many more. He got everything covered because everyone knows how popular NeoFetch is in the community. So to make FastFetch popular, you've got to be able to support everything NeoFetch did. But it's so beautiful. And Ven even has a really nice screenshot of his FastFetch and its comparison to NeoFetch.
I did, but what I'm really going to hold out for before I switch is moderately okay fetch.
Oh, okay. That would be in between NeoFetch and FastFetch.
Yeah, it's just moderate fetch. Right.
Moderate fetch.
It's all right fetch, you know.
It's stable. It works.
That's what you say about the movie that you just paid $15 to see and you didn't hate. You're like, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's fine. Popcorn was good. Yeah. This is available as Debian package. So guess what? I installed it on Debian. I know, right?
Yeah.
Compared to NeoFetch, you got a couple of different options in there. Just by default, it did show me some additional data bits like my local IP and disk usage. And as Jill alluded to, screenshots, because that's great for podcasts. People love looking at screenshots on podcasts. So I ran the time command. I'm like, how much faster? There's our time with FastFetch, and this is Threadbooper, which is, 1900X, and, it shows the disk there, which is by default, which is pretty cool. There's local IP. Nobody hacked my LAN.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
He forgot to blur that out. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you come at me.
Come at you.
Yeah, I want everybody to DDoS 192.168.8.8.5, which you can't reach unless you have a MikroTik router and you want to DDoS yourself. So real time, what do we have? 0.35, so 350 milliseconds for launch. Let's break out the NeoFetch down here at the bottom. NeoFetch did it quicker, Joe.
That's strange.
280 milliseconds.
Yeah. I was noticing that when you posted it in our show notes. Yeah, that's interesting because on my computer running PipeWire and Wayland, it slammed it with FastFest.
Both of them on my system. Now, this system is probably this is something I want to bring up, is architected different than like your desktop.
That's true. Yeah.
This isn't I have a workstation gaming. No, the system is built from the ground up as a workstation. It has one job.
Yeah.
The reason I ran the time command on that, and I wanted to look at it because I've never noticed, the only time I bring out NeoFetch is I have to install it every time you wacky kids get in Discord because I'm like, I want to play along too, old man.
Yeah.
Take screenshot, post in Discord as I do. And I'd never noticed it taking any time. But if you're talking the difference between 280 milliseconds versus 350, you're doing fine either way.
Yeah, on your Threadbooper, that's a lot of power to give it.
Pick the one that works the best for you, but go check out the project. And maybe you're on a system where you're like, man, I don't have time to run NeoFetch. I got things to do in life. Go check this out. This might be the solution that allows you to run NeoFetch where previously you were unable to spare the time to get it up and running.
Yeah.
And I do want to point out, we put our entire Ventec labs on running these benchmarks. They're completely accurate. I ran them over a series of multiple weeks. No, I didn't. I just ran them with a time command. So, yeah, have fun with that. There'll be a link to the full screenshot for the audio listeners. Head over to Linux Gamecast and check it out. Speaking of Linux. My name is Linus Torvalds, and I pronounce Linux.
Yeah.
Hundreds upon hundreds of times I've heard that. That was the audio sample. Little Vin sitting there with an ISA sound card, trying to get audio working on Linux in the 90s.
Yes.
For Red Hat shipped that as the ALSA config thing. And it's like, that was a cause for celebration once you heard Linus say that. And you're like, yes.
Yes.
But there's another Linux, linuxgamecast.com. That's where you can find a bunch of stuff. Now, I did spend a lot of time talking about audio. That's because I know it's kind of strange. But if you go to our Linux compatible audio interfaces, I've been doing this for years. This is like what works, what doesn't. We got round trip latency. Like it's all broken down, like, USB, PCI, FireWire, you name it. Great place for that. A bunch of other guides we have set up. Mind you, we play video games because it is Linux Gamecast. But, video capture, just multimedia production under Linux. But the main reason I tricked you into coming here is to click our support button if you want to help us out. Group of volunteers, we're just doing this. Try to have a good time. Try to make informational, educational content. That's my goal, and straight and to the point with no hot takes on anything except just me being me. If you want to help out with that, patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. Thanks to all the people who do that. Your name's in the credits. You get early access to a bunch of stuff. You get the live and uncut version of the show. So I want you to stick around after the show and listen to that. LibrePay, we got a couple of people who have signed up for LibrePay recently. Yay. PayPal. We got the Bitcoins, the magic internet money. Some people have kicked that in. And of course, Amazon wish list. If you want to pick us up something, Jill's got one with, let's see what's on Jill's. Is it going to be? Yes, look at that. I'm shocked, Jill. I'm disgusted. It is penguins.
Lots of plushy penguins and penguin mugs.
I am terrified. Yep. Pedro has one. Jordan has one. My other host. We got one for the studio, which is full of green motherboards and goth cheese graters. Maybe an Orange Pi 5. I'm thinking about maybe doing a experiment with that. I don't know. And curtains and things like that. But we do appreciate your support if you get anything. Also, if you're a Twitch sub or patron, link your Discord if you're into the whole Discord thing, because we got our whole chat there. But don't worry about that, because our live chat, our Twitch chat, and our IRC chat are all linked together. Always and forever be completely free of charge. Hop in there and say hello. Jill.
Yay.
We've done it 33 minutes and 46 seconds. Not too long.
Yeah, not too long.
We'll spin up some music and call it an evening.
Cool. Thank you for all of you that participated in our live chat on Twitch, on Discord, and on YouTube. And thanks once again to all our lovely patrons.
Dak, what have you done? Are you trying to hack my IP address?
DeCresney's at it again. Yay! Aw, thank you to Kaidubi Chibs and Tim Shanasi and Michael Salmons and Joe P for coming in our YouTube live chat.
Beautiful people. Have a great rest of your week.
All.
We do this Saturdays if you want to come. Not Saturdays. Yeah, Saturdays I'll be doing a Linux Gamecast. We do this on Wednesdays, right? Because it's a Wednesday. 3 p.m. on Twitch and YouTube. Come say hi.
Oh.
We might even be here. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Wow. Linux Weekly Daily Wednesday, number 403. We did it.
All right.
Yay.
Hey. What's a lot of... What are you trying to install? I have to open that in a browser. Let's see what Dak's trying to install. Let's publicly shame him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's on his Mac, I see. Let's see.
Were you just able to do stuff in hard mode? I still don't know what you're trying. Installing weak dependencies. Installing fast fetch on a Mac. Man, come on. Wait, are you on a Mac?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know if you're on a Mac. What are you on?
It looks like I have to zoom in so I can see this.
Well, I mean, it's Linux. It can look like anything, though.
Yeah, it can. Yeah. Those could be those 3 colored dots.
Somebody willingly might
could be one of the themes for XFC
you could, listen, some people out there look at that and go, yeah, that's what I want. It's Nobara.
Oh, right. Okay. It's the Nobara theme. Okay. I have to
remote it into your local server.
I have to zoom in and download it and zoom in on it because I can't read it. I'm sorry, Dak.
Yeah, just install the deb. I think there was like 1 or 2 dubs, but I mean, it's me, so I got pretty much every build environment set up anyway. I don't think, I didn't pull in anything sizable at all, like whatever.
So that's interesting, though. That's what DNF pulled in for.
You know what? Let's find out.
Yeah.
Sudo apt purge. Fast fetch. Goodbye, fast fetch. You were awesome. Following removed. Now we do this trick. We do a sudo apt update and see what orphan packages are like. Hey, you can nuke these.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't install anything of mine then. All right, cool. Yeah, what is the best Linux distribution? The one you're running right now. Again, there's not enough of us to fight about it.
Yeah. Does it matter what distro you're running or what desktop manager?
Linux
as long as the apps you want work. That's all that matters.
Right? As long as you're happy with it.
Yeah.
Hello, Chips. See, this works if you have continuity. If you do the thing Turbo does, of like, hey, I see Turbo's face. I realize that's Turbo. Chips is pretty good about if you maintain social media icon parity across multiple services, I can identify you.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Pretty easy.
Well, I know Chibs and Kaidubi synonymously because when he made comments on my YouTube page for my LGC scale video years ago, when that was when Empty first came, and I did that video back like 2017.
I did. I just know it's Chibs because it looks like Chibs in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Chibs.
We know Chibs. He's been interviewed here on LWDW twice. Not just once, but twice.
Wayland is very fast. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I guessed right, DeCresney. It was, I see. Fast fetch on your Mac laptop, work laptop, and on your Fedora server. Cool.
Is anybody here running Wayland?
Let's see.
Or more importantly, does anybody know what graphics server you're running? You have any idea? Do you care? You just boot up the system and it works, and you're like, yeah, good. That's all I care about.
Inksy, TAC G. That'll help you.
Trying to see how much gray hair Strider has. You need to get some more gray hair, Strider. I'm only seeing like one obvious one up here at the top. Let's see. Like right here, we got a little bit of gray.
There we go.
just a little tough on the side there. Gonna have to work on that. I want to see some more gray hair next year, all right?
Oh. No, Matthew has nice hair.
Other people have to have gray hair for me. I'm never going to get gray hair.
I've had gray hair since I've been a little kid. Well, technically they were white. Yeah, I had little strings of white hair. It was mostly dirty blonde or, just blonde.
I was dirty blonde for a long time, even up to your wedding.
Yeah. But my grandmother was actually albino, so I had quite a bit of white in my hair too.
I'm just not going to get gray hair.
Yeah.
It's not from, like, I've always wanted, like, gray hair or, like, just white tape, you know, that thing. But, like, even talking about it, I was like, asked my mom, I was like, when did you start getting gray hair? She was like, yeah, late 60s. I'm like, jeez, all right.
Oh, yeah, my whole family got gray hair early on, and all the men in my family started losing their hair when they were 18. So that was a thing too. My brother is bald. My dad was bald, and all his brothers were bald.
you got going bald to look forward to, Jill.
Yeah. Well, actually, honestly, we have bald women in my family. So I'm like, oh God, I don't want to go bald, but I have a full head of hair, so I guess I'm okay.
Your sister-in-law's husband hasn't. Yeah, I got a friend. Geez, I guess she's like older now. She's like 35, 36. She's always had gray hair. Like, not
okay.
Salt and pepper. She's had gray
Salt
hair.
and pepper.
Like, you see pictures of her like in second, third grade in primary school, like just gray hair.
Yeah. Yeah, almost like.
Which
almost
is like an absolute curse for her because she's like super young looking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, it hasn't weighed out yet, you know, because your brain does the thing. You're like, do you dye your hair?
I used to always get so embarrassed because even when I was young, like in my 20s, and my beauticians and whatnot who cut my hair were always like, you have the most beautiful hair. And I'm like, but I wish it doesn't have white or gray in it. She goes, but other people kill to have that. So don't ever change it. And here I am, a youngster, you know, I didn't want it either.
I knew people like teenagers. Dude, I remember like in secondary school. I don't even want to say the name of the dude. I remember his name to this day because I felt bad for him. No, I was 16, maybe 7. Yeah, I was 16. I was getting ready to graduate secondary school. He was going bald.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that, you know, all right.
Yeah.
The upside to that is you know that you're going to be rocking like the shaved head early in life, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with that after like 30 years of having hair, like shave your head.
Yeah.
I think
that's what happened That's what happened to my dad. He started losing his hair 14, 15. He was completely bald by the time he was 18.
And just rock it. Just cut it off. Save you time.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out this. I got a photo for everybody. I'll show you. I think I posted this in our Discord last night. Let's get to our downloads directory. Home, then downloads. I don't think I have anything. I got Google passwords. Let's not click on that.
Yeah. I've got those too.
What is today's date? Did we download? There's Fast Fetch. There's the Debian file I just downloaded. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to... I got to find which one. These are all funny internet pictures, but I got to find the right one. What did you save as? ITS?
WebM? WebP?
This is what
Oh, yeah. So that's the Samsung Odyssey 55-inch. That's one of the monitors I was looking at. And it is the bigged curve monitor that you can buy for a computer. But I realized Steve and I, you know, because I've had that one in my Amazon cart for a while, and we realized it wouldn't work for me because then it would bring my camera that's on a tripod behind the 43-inch. It would bring it up too high and see the top of my head. So that was. Yeah, because it's quite a bit taller than this 43-inch.
You just get them out like this, then you just put the camera to the side.
Yeah, well, there's that too. That is a possibility, and I didn't think of it until you saw the picture.
Straight up in the air to see stuff and have a monitor hanging over your head, like And
you know what? Actually, it was funny because when I saw that picture, Ben, I think you tweeted it too, or put it in chat.
I think I put it in Discord last night.
Discord.
Again, we were talking about all the social media stuff, right?
I forget what I see where. You know,
On one of them.
On one of them. But anyways, I was thinking of that. I'm like, oh yeah, I could just do that with that monitor and then put the camera on the side or something. Yeah. And the other idea I had Ven was, now it's kind of funny because the 43-inch that Ven and I use, I'm starting to get a little bit more. It's starting to go black a little more often, sometimes like once a minute now. But of course, today it behaved and it didn't. So, but I was thinking what I could do is stack 2 ultra wides on top of each other. And then the nice thing about that is to leave enough space for the camera in between 2. So then I could bring the camera down. That's an idea.
You can just mount the camera to the side, or you can mount.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
options. I mean,
would
I could put this
highly
camera here.
recommend, Steve, if you're listening to me, mount that camera to the wall instead of on a tripod.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do that. That's a good idea.
As somebody with a lot of experience with this stuff, ignore me at your own peril, because I tend not to talk about stuff unless I know about it. Wall mounted. That camera's on the other side of the room. That's got a big chunky lens on it. But that camera's also halfway up the wall, but I got it angled because the way I'm sitting right now, if that camera was level, you'd only see this much of me right here.
Yeah.
You just see the top of my head peeking out from over this monitor. Like I said, you can get away with a lot more with your angles once you get it up on the wall.
Yeah,
you want a bigger monitor.
Idea. That's a great idea.
Instead of having a precariously sitting around on a tripod. And I got tripods. I got big chunky tripods, and I got tripods in here. I got a camera on a tripod over there. Right?
Yeah, you do.
Got another one right there.
I put weights on the bottom of mine, so that has helped a lot with the stability.
Just getting that stuff off the floor, out of the way, and as far as your flexibility, once it's already up on a tripod, and you can angle it where you want it instead of trying to
that's a great idea.
Stuff around.
See, Boo? Yeah, that was one of my ideas, to mount it on the wall because of Ven. Or even on the table, they have the mounts for the table. The advantage to the table one is if I do have a sit-stand desk I want to put in here eventually, and then it would keep it at the same.
We're going to take a trip to office stuff.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Linux Gamecast
Ven has
office
a mount.
stuff. This is the one that is holding my camera. No, this is the one I bought trying to be cheap. This one.
Yeah, that's cheap. I was expecting it. I hadn't looked in a while.
This one's gone now.
$100.
This one, I was like, let's see if I can mount a camera using one of these. Don't. I'm sure other companies make like little ones. Yeah, they're like $6, right? Don't. This one.
It's only $40.
Yeah, it's $36. This thing, it works. And you can mount your camera upside down. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
I can only speak to this one because it's one I have. And like, it's set it and forget it. Don't have to mess with it. All right, everybody. It is almost 4:30. We've got about 5 minutes. Anybody got any last words? Or first words? Maybe you've been thinking about typing some words. Or maybe not. Maybe you're just the silent majority.
Oh, Chipsy. Yeah, your green screen. Yeah, I know, they make the ones that, of course, lay on the floor that you can just pull up.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have one of those from when I was a teacher.
What do you need a green screen for? Let's get back to the root cause of the question. Chips. What you up to? Being nosy.
Yeah. What you doing, Chips?
And you know what?
He is a teacher too. So.
Hey, I just want a green screen. I'm like, that's cool. Oh, I do need to point out though, we need to be responsible. By the way, everybody, this mount, this big chunky mount, the whole big DSLRs.
Yeah.
Well, I want be aware it's a choking hazard, so don't swallow it. All right? Just be careful. Be careful out there, people. You disguise your room, look like server room for work. All right. Yeah.
Oh, a server room. That's pretty funny. So they don't see all your stuff. So you want it behind you with a bunch of computers on it.
You could take the desk and flip it. So you got the wall behind you. I know. Crazy thought. Yeah, having as impractical as it would be probably in any other situation, having a desk in the middle of the room, just being able to get up and walk around to the back to work on stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's the next thing I want to do, definitely.
Having a desk on the wall.
Yeah, it's been problematic for me because I have to have Steve husband, reach over and do stuff for me. It's a pain. Yeah, I need to pull this out.
I have to have it in here because I got to be able to get in and swap out cables constantly. But
yeah, you've got to. It's your studio.
It is. The downside is you have to sacrifice an entire room to it. Mm-hmm. Because it's not practical to just, maybe if you just got a small desk, it's not a big deal. It's a small room. 8x9. What is that? Thermofeet? I'm guessing that's going to be in freedom units.
Oh, yeah, that's smaller than this room. Yeah, my room here is about 11 by 8. This is the smallest room in the house.
I don't have no idea what this one is in feet. Freedom feet. All right. I don't know. These are like this room and the next one over here. I think were originally like the kids' rooms.
Oh, okay.
This one's a little smaller, but it's got a walk-in closet, which is great because I can put all the cables and stuff in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
But I mean, it's not a particularly big room. I mean, it's big enough for this. That's about it.
Yeah, when I started here on LWDW, I had thought of moving into the next room over, but realized that wouldn't be as efficient because that room has more windows, which means more heat. So this room is nice because it's an internal in the house. It's in the center of the house. So it's, I only have 2 walls with windows and the other one has 3. And it would just, harder for temperature control.
I can't escape windows. I got so many windows in this house. It's not as bad as I think the first, was it like the second townhouse I ever got? I swear during when they were doing the architecting part of it, they'd ordered too many doors.
Oh,
so what they did is sit down and found weird places to put doors.
Yeah.
There was the pantry, the little pantry it had 3 doors in it.
Wow.
There were 3 exits in the pantry. You could do the funny thing where you could smack the doors against each other.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
Multiple places in the house you could do that. It was laughable.
That's pretty funny.
Cool.
I mean, this little room had 2 doors in it, and we walled it off because I don't need 2 doors in this room. This little room.
Gotta be careful. Gotta keep the door quite low. It is 4:30. I gotta go make a podcast.
Okay.
So we're going to go transmogrify all this, and I'll get that posted later for everybody. If you are curious, I did post that. I think it auto-posted yesterday about the first FireWire interface. So taking a FireWire interface and why it was important, why it changed everything when it got released. You can thank and blame Apple for the existence of it with the Apple Mac. I go into the history of it, but we take an interface 22 years ago, 2001. I'm sorry, I had to be inform you of that, and plug that into a modern PC running a modern Linux distribution, and just how well Linux can handle it. Because we know audio doesn't work under Linux, but hey, I'm not going to spoil the end for you. Go check that out. There's the rough cut version of that up, and that'll be up for, I got to do the documentation and all the bits that I'm going to put on Linux Gamecast. Probably I'll have it on the show next week for everybody else. But if you want an early look and you're a patron, go check that out. Cool, everybody. I will.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, I think Jordan's traveling this week, so.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be in an airplane, so I don't think he's going to be doing a stream Thursday, but be back Friday for Trackmania. If you want to come play with
Trackmania.
us. Somebody hit me up on the social media, like, wait a minute, Trackmania works under Linux. I'm like, always has, man.
Always has.
Been running Trackmania since, using a CRT with wine, man. It's been a long time. We do Trackmania 2 at 7:30 p.m. We get a server set up, hop into our Discord. If you're a Twitch sub or patron, get the launch codes. We got its own dedicated text channel for everything. If you're looking for just people to hang out with and you like little puzzle platforming Tuesdays and Fridays, that'll be running. All right. Mm-hmm. For real this time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you all. Bye, Steve Husband. Bye, Gypsy. Bye, Dak. Bye, Sipes.
Bye-bye, Steve Husband. Bye, Gypsy.
Yeah.
That's what our closed captioning system said. I don't know.
Yeah.